episode 100. Episode 100. In the words of Ric Flair, woo! You're looking at episode 100. That's right. Episode 100. This episode is entitled Looking Back. I want to talk a little bit about my channel, and not much of it's changed. 21, 22 subscribers. I have a couple new followers. Thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate that. This episode, Looking Back, is not just going to look at my channel. We're going to talk a little bit about what has gone on in the gaming industry. You know, I don't want to completely rehash, what's happened with the microtransactions and loot boxes and the Belgium and them saying now CSGO needs to get rid of their stuff because it's gambling. And we've got all kinds of interesting things that is going on. Now, I'm not broadcasting normally from my illustrious Shangri-La apartment, but I'm at actually a house because I'm house sitting for a very special girl who is in New York with her family. Special shout out to my girlfriend Desiree. Thank you, love you, miss you. Hope you get back soon. But between now and then, I'm gonna party like it's 1999. And here's the thing. Looking back at my channel, it started out real simple. I just wanted to talk about various subjects. I know throughout the time there was a few moments in my life, the last year and a half, that got rocky and I couldn't broadcast for a while. And that really was detrimental. Some of you all actually stuck around, waited for me, the Juice Man, to enlighten you and to tell you the way it is. And I appreciate anyone that stuck around and still is listening to my broadcast today. I know you've been watching, and every time I do an episode, as you know, the commercial breaks is brought to you by Beer in the Throat. Oh, sorry. Okay, guys, there was some kind of weird interruption. For some reason, my controller just decided to switch itself off for no reason, even though it's on the charge, and the microphone kind of messed up there. So if you do watch this broadcast, you'll see a little slight interruption in the program, and I apologize for that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. This entirety of the Juice Man, I still have stuck to my guns. I still do not review games. But I do want to talk a little bit about that too, because a lot of people might hear some of my gameplays. If you go back and look at my Technomancer, another excellent game by the excellent Game Company Spiders, and if you didn't buy Technomancer, do yourself a favor and go buy it. It's pretty freaking amazing. Yet, some people aren't. And I might give Dynasty Warriors a 9.5, where another person who doesn't like that might give it a 4. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. I'm entitled to mine, like anything else. And I'm going to tell you right now, the thing is that's why I don't review. And there has been long gaps between some of my videos because I got to come up with something to talk about. And I don't necessarily want to completely rip on other people's channels. I don't go on YouTube and go, hey, this is what Clean Prince Gaming is talking about, or this is what Yang Yale is talking about, or B. Dobbins For the Win is talking about, or Anger Joe is talking about, or Jim Sterling, or Rachel Moore, or some of the other channels I'm subscribed to. I don't just want to take what their subjects. It says the internet connection quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast gameplay, so I don't even know if you're all still getting this. It says I'm on the air, but I am doing this Wi-Fi. Normally it's connected to a router at my place. The internet here is not as good. Kind of sucks, but what are you going to do about it? Anyway, hopefully you're still getting this. My point is is that I don't want to look at another person's channel, see what they're talking about, and then take that. Now, at times, it is relevant that we're all, as YouTubers, as gamers, talking about the same thing. We're all talking about the stuff that happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the microtransactions. We all were talking about that because it was important to the pure person who has 1 million subscribers to little old me that has like 20, 22, whatever. And the point is that looking back on that, that was a good thing to come together. But I don't always have the best thing to talk about. And recently I was talking about, my money, our way, that kind of thing. I thought that went really well. I think some of my videos sometimes have an ebb and flow to them. Sometimes I'm spot on with it. And there's been some videos, honestly, a couple times where I was really, really, really tired. And like recently I was playing some game that was new and I think I was just rambling on because I was tired. And sometimes I've done videos where I was pretty much drunk. I mean, I was pretty buzzed really good, and I might just ramble on about the same thing over and over again. And tonight, that's why I try to start the videos while I start to have a beer and not like later on. But the point is that my channel is definitely for you gamers out there that want just a basic thing, something for me to talk about. Either you're going to agree with me or you're going to disagree with me or agree to disagree with me. Either way, I appreciate my subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to watch my channel. And looking back, I'm glad that I started the channel. I would like to do some things differently. I know in the season 1 there's a lot of audio issues. I'd never broadcasted before. I didn't know that you had to turn the volume of the audio down on the game and all this other stuff. And yes, I know I do a lot of Evolve because Evolve kind of plays itself here in the background, and other games will just recycle like the title screen and the cinemas over and over again, and you can't really adjust the volume of that. But I do this because it does at least show you some Evolve gameplay. And as you know, that Evolve is a game that I have been playing for a long time, mainly offline. And I just now noticed this. It says Evolve servers will shut down on September 3rd. Factoid support at UK at support2k.com. And I'm wondering if when that day comes, if I'll still be able to play offline, or will that be the end of the game and all I'll be left with is a game that no longer basically can be played, and I'll have to delete it off my hard drive permanently. And that's a real shame. I wish if you can't keep them open, that's fine, but please still let me play the game offline, because I still am leveling and progressing my characters, a year and a half later. So that's really a damn shame to see that happen. But looking back on my channel from the season 1 and the stuff that I was talking about in season 2 and some issues I had with audio and different things, I don't want to say that my channel's come a long way, but it has come far enough for me to be generally pleased with it. I would love to have a PlayStation camera so you could look at my face and see what I'm talking about. And I know I used to do a lot of impressions for you all in the early seasons where I'd be talking like George Bush or Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, no, listen to me. It's time for beer in the throat. Let's say that's what America's about, my friends. It's about beer in the throat. Oh, it's good. Thank you, George Bush. But anyway, a little blast from the past doing that. I want to say that I think going forward, I'm going to stick to the same thing with my channel. I'm not going to do reviews. I am going to show you gameplay stuff. I am going to talk about games. I am going to show you stuff like that. I think I did a 3-parter on Space Hulk Deathwing, and I wanted to continue that series, but then I got sidetracked with Monster Hunter, and that's the problem with me. I have literally over 100 digital titles on my PlayStation downloaded, and the funny thing about that is that that's not all of my digital titles. There's probably another 35 or 40 more I could download. I hop from game to game, and I was talking about that the other day about how we don't really beat our games and stuff, but that's neither here or there. But it's one of those things where it's hard for me to play one game And I love that game, by the way, and I need to get back into it. It's just playing different games. Half the time I look at my hard drive, and sometimes I want to clear out half the stuff that's in it to be like, hey, I haven't loaded this game in 3 months, and I'm like, and looking back again, I have a hard time deleting it because I know if I fire it up, I'll play it. So I will get rid of certain things. Like I no longer have GTA 5. On my system. I'm playing it. I do nothing. I'm playing online, and all I'll do is fart around. I sell a car, have the cops chase me a few times, but I don't really play the game. I'm just bullshitting in the game, and I'm like, what's the point of taking up that? I have ESO online that's over 100 gigs, but it's another one of those games where when I was playing it, half the time I will enjoy it with people, but by myself playing it, I'm bored with it. If I'm going to play an Elder Scrolls, I'm just going to play Skyrim. Takes up a lot less room on the hard drive, and there you have it. So looking back on all that stuff, it's just neat to see how I'm actually at episode 100. Something I thought I would never do or get to. And to be perfectly honest with you, doing a video this way is, I feel like, unlike other big channels, I think the smaller channels, are important, and I'm a small channel, and I do like the fact that occasionally people will tune in to watch what I'm talking about, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't at all. They just kind of do that. And I know I've had some problems. Sometimes technological hiccups happen, and like I had to do the same video multiple times to get it to go up there, or it would stop broadcasting, or whatever the hell. There was a little hiccup tonight where the controller decided to take a shit and just not disconnect for no reason, and I have problems with that for some reason. It's really strange. It only happens when the battery gets low and I plug it in, and while it's charging, sometimes it's just weird. It acts funny. I've had problems with my PlayStation. I got a Darth Vader. It's a refurb, but I've had problems with the hard drive. I had problems with I had to send it off to Sony to get the IR repaired. Because I don't know, whoever owned this system, while it looked beautiful when I got it, definitely wrote it hard and put it up wet, or wrote it wet, put it up hard. I don't know my quotes, but the point is that's kind of what's been going on there. I try to give you all a fairly entertaining channel. Looking back, I try to give you all something that is both entertaining when I do my voices and stuff, and the fact that you get to hear me drink some beer and talk about that, but also I try to give you something to think about. When you're sitting back and you're watching my channel and you hear a subject, you're like, huh. And I also try to be funny with some of the WTF. I promise to be bringing you some more of whatever game, what the fuck, because people always tell me how much fun they have with that. I did my PlanetSide 2, which is still one of my most watched videos. I did Star Trek Online, what the fuck. I did PlanetSide 2, what the fuck. I plan on doing some more of those. I think I've done 3. I did one on remasters, and it's one of those tell how you really feel kind of channels. And I love doing those. I just haven't had some game here recently that made me go, what the fuck? And I just have to get crazy with it and throw it out there under the bus. Because I really, truly, when I did PlanetSide 2, for example, I really think it's a terrible game. It's fucking terrible. I don't care if you've been playing it for years, folks. It's shit. Just play Battlefield. It's a much better game, much more polished. And I don't give a shit about the free-to-play thing. It's much more polished game. And then, of course, my Star Trek one, and Star Trek is perfectly serviceable, except it's all nothing but one big combat sin. I recently downloaded Defiance 2050, and they basically remade the game. Well, they basically got us the old game and put it on here, and I was curious about it, and I was playing it here and there, and I used to play it a lot on 360, but for some reason, though, I had a hard time getting back into it. They changed some of the ego powers, and you can't just pick what you want now from the beginning, and they changed some stuff, I think, for the better. The UI is better, things are better, but again, it's like, why? What has happened? I don't know why I really liked it then and not now. I probably need to do a what the fuck video on Destiny, because that deserves it. And even though I played the first game for literally 3 years and 3.5, and then I played the second game for all of a few months, and it's not even installed on my hard drive. I keep downloading it, playing it for a few days, and deleting it because every time I jump in and play it, it's like I enjoy it, but it's like a chore. And looking back, I should have just said, you know what? Now they're rebooting it with Forsaken. I don't even want to get into that. That's a Taken King relaunch. They're doing the same fucking thing with Destiny 2, man. You can't get your shit straight, and not even a year later. And you're relaunching, rebooting, whatever, just like you did Taken King. That's what Forsaken is. That's what it is. What the fuck? I'm not going to get into it. That's going to turn into a rant. But anyway, folks, looking back on my channel, I want to say this. I want to say these thoughts is thank you for tuning in, number one. Thank you for subscribing to me, number two. Thank you for liking what I have to say. I'm sorry that I don't get on my channel on YouTube and like look at people's comments or look at what they're saying to me or whatever. I just don't do that. Not that I don't have time. It's just that my problem is that when I log into my YouTube, for some reason I cannot get into my actual Juice Man's actual channel. I have another channel on there that I was using for whatever reason, and I have a separate channel for this, and I have tried to reset the password. I've tried to do everything, and I cannot get in there. It's really janky and doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and no matter what I do, I just can't get into my channel. So if you are commenting and stuff, I can't read them, so don't waste your breath in doing that. But do thank you, though, nevertheless, for tuning in. Looking back, too, I want to say also with these thoughts that, you know, it has been rocky, and these are videos I can look back and tell you what, and I can see what games I was playing at the time, what I was talking about. I love the subjects that I come up with. I try to come up with things to talk about, and I'm going to try to come up with more interesting subjects and try to make the channel bigger and grow. My next goal is to reach 40, and that's the next is get another 20 subs, and I'm hoping that will happen here in the next few months. I'm going to try to do more videos. I need to like stop like feeling like I don't have anything to talk about, and if I don't, I should just do gameplay videos. I've got literally 101 games on 100 games on my hard drive, and I should just pick one and do a gameplay of it and talk while I'm doing that, because I think people enjoy that. And if I don't have anything really subject material to talk about. Anyway, this has been Season 4 Starter, Episode 100 of Looking Back. And as I said before, this episode was mainly looking back and talk about some of the things I did in the past, Season 1, 2, and 3, problems I had, talking about the WTF videos, talking about the sponsors and the beer in the throat, which I'm going to do another, and all that. And just kind of looking back and just really telling you all, again, thank you for keeping me going. I do all this for free, so I don't ever want any money from anybody unless I get like a 10,000 subs, and then I need like some advertisement revenue. But anyway, I just want to tell you all thanks and appreciate you tuning in. I will have more videos here in the future. I may be back tonight with another one, and I'll come up with something to talk about. And if not, I'll do a gameplay. But anyway, as always, gamers, this has been the Gaming Roundtable, and I am Juice Man, the guy, the gamer that tells you the way it is. And as always, gamers, good gaming.